I want to talk to you about marriage, about some truths concerning marriage. I know some people say, well, I'm not married, or I've been married a long time, or I ain't married yet. But you can get truths out of this stuff that will teach you. I think too many times people don't understand marriage. They don't understand what God is doing with marriage, or what is the purpose of marriage. I think sometimes we go into marriage with a concept of, what can I get out of this? What can I get? Well, if I marry him, I get security, I can get all this money, or I can get this, or I can get that. Or if I marry her, well, you know, I got somebody to raise my babies, or whatever, while I go do what I want to. And she's, you know, and we go into marriage like this a lot of times. And that's never been intended by God's way. His method of being married has never been that way. The devil, you got to understand, the enemy will pervert anything that God lays out. The devil will pervert it. You know, Jesus is the Lion of the tribe of Judah, but Satan goes about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. You know, so Satan tries to imitate, and he tries to destroy. The sanctity of marriage is one of the most important things that we have in this life. If you can comprehend by the end of this study, and I may not finish it today, we may have to finish it tomorrow or Wednesday, but if you can comprehend by the end of this study, you'll understand that the marriage relationship is the same relationship that Christ has with the church. It was ordained in the same manner. Matter of fact, we are known as the bride of Christ. So if even you men, if you can look at yourself on the feminine side of this thing, this is the relationship. You also need to look at Christ's side of this thing, because you are a representative of Christ in that family. You are the head priest. And you young men, y'all need to learn this, because one day you will be married. Now, I'm not bragging or anything, but you can ask my wife. We've had numerous people, once they got to know us, they have said, I wish to God I had a marriage like y'all's. I mean, we have got a good marriage, y'all. God has blessed us in our union. We trust each other. We just served the Lord together. So I mean, we just stumbled on it through the Scripture is what we done. But we brought our children up in the way, our child up in the way of the Lord, and we just got a blessed union. I mean, you can ask Matt. We don't fight. I know y'all hear people say, well, if somebody says they don't fight, then they're a liar or whatever. We don't fight. We don't fight. You don't have to fight. We just don't do that. Now, do we? We don't fight. You don't have to. God never. Do you see Jesus fighting with the church? Remember, your marriage is supposed to be that establishment. So when somebody tells you that you don't, I hear people all the time say, well, when they say don't fight, don't you believe them? Turn them off right there. Well, that's just the enemy. That's the enemy, because I'm going to tell you something. You don't have to fight. If you'll carry yourself like Christ in the church, and you'll do it like he said, you won't have a miserable marriage. Did I say we always agree? No, we don't always agree on everything. And we have to pray and work it out and see the pros and cons. I listen to her, she listens to me, and we figure out what to do. If it comes down to being so aggravated that you're going to fight, we kind of just part our way. I'll just go in another room until I calm down, or she goes in another room until she calms down, pray, come back and make it right. My family fought. When we got married, I told her, I said, Debbie, I do not want to live like that. I said, if married life means that I've got to fight every afternoon, every weekend, fight, argue, cuss, raise Cain, even go to blows sometimes, hitting on each other, invading each other's space. Y'all laughed when I told y'all I asked my wife out. She is an individual person. I don't tell her, hey, we're going out. I ask her out. I asked her out when I was dating her, didn't I? Well, I ask her out now. She's still the person that I had when I dated. She could have said, no, I'm tired. I'd say, okay, baby, no problem. Maybe we can get another night out, go out another night. You see, I respected her as a person. You don't just treat somebody like because you're married. You see, you don't do that. Christ don't treat us that way, does he? He don't just tell you what to do. He lays it out. If you want to do it, fine. If you don't, it will cause separation. Same way with the family. If I don't do what Debbie wants me to do, eventually it'll cause separation. If she wants me to come in from work and sit down and say, how was your day, baby? And wants to talk, and women like to talk. Women like to communicate. If I don't set forth that time and say, well, yeah, and she wants to know about my day, well, let me tell you what happened. Old Brother James come and helped me get a rotten rat out and all this. Hey, whatever the situation is, I communicate with her. Now, men, they're few. They usually are few in words. They don't like to speak too much. But I understand that I have to do that because that's what she wants. At the same time, I need some private time. I go in my office and I sit down and I get my coins out, my little pennies and whatever, and I sit down at a desk and I'm looking at them things, looking for air coins and different things, and I enjoy sitting there and doing that. I'm not messed with, because she understands I need that time too. We respect each other as a human being. And now, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or not, you still need your time. You need to be recognized. Whether you're a working mom or a working dad, you need to be recognized, celebrated. Mike Murdoch puts it this way: if you don't celebrate something, then it'll exit your life. It will exit your life. If you don't believe me, I ain't gonna tell y'all to do this. Don't celebrate your wife or your husband and see what happens. They will exit eventually, because there'll be somebody out there that knows how to celebrate them. There's men out there, I know them, they're whoremongers, but they'll tell you right quick, like, they say, I can go to bed and sleep with any woman. He said, within 3 months, I'll be in bed with her. I said, how you figure that? He said, all I got to do is listen. All I got to do is sit down and talk. Just listen to them, and I'll be in the bed. That's right. Why do you think preachers get in so much trouble? A lot of preachers end up in affairs and all because they sit down and they listen to the women's problems and they, yeah. Like that. And then what happens is they get in trouble. That's the reason you'll never find me ministering to any lady by myself. I will have my wife with me, or my daughter, or I'll have 2 or 3 brothers with me. I will never put myself in that position, ever. I will always have somebody with me because I know how what thing works. At the same time, women, if you don't celebrate your husband, there's women out there that know how to celebrate. They know